What's up, everyone? Hope everyone had a good week and a good weekend so far. Looks like some of us may be coming out of the quarantine stay-at-home orders soon, so hopefully it's a good thing. Stay smart, Georgia. We're rooting for you. But let's take a look at last week. Dow Jones going from 24,264 down to 23,775, down just 2%. NASDAQ going from 86.50 to 86.34, down 1.8. The S&P going from 28.74 to 28.36, down just 1.3%. So we can call it a relatively flat week for all three major indices. So I want to take a quick look at the two drops in the market because they were based on two headlines. The first one, the May oil contract collapse. What happened was that the May oil contract closed at negative $37 and change per barrel, meaning that if you wanted oil, somebody would actually pay you $37 and give you the oil, which is the opposite of what we typically do, which is pay somebody to get their oil for gasoline purposes, let's say. And basically what happened to cause that is because storage for oil is becoming very, very expensive. We're leaving tankers in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean just to sit there holding oil because of there's no demand for oil whatsoever with so little people driving and flying. So we're just storing oil and hoping that later the oil will have some more value. But we're running out of storage room, and as a result, nobody wants more oil and will pay to get the oil off their hands. The Remdesivir flop, this is a very controversial report that was published. Basically what happened was the World Health Organization published the results of a Chinese study on Remdesivir that was actually suspended because they could not get enough patients enrolled. Why the World Health Organization even published this, I don't know, but it was quickly removed, but not before a couple of news agencies got their eyes and hands on it, and then they used the headline Remdesivir flops. Now, obviously, this is just more algo trading, just like the fact with, just like what happened with oil, and just sent the market down. On the bright side, the fact that we ended the week almost flat due to these two headlines, I think it's very encouraging. As you can see, the May oil collapse, I think that was just a lot of algos being confused. Many times there are algorithms that trade based on the price of oil when we are coming back from a stock market drop. It's assumed that more oil demand will lead to higher oil prices, which will lead to the U.S. economy growing. And I think the S&P, at least some of the algos that trade the S&P, are set to mirror the price action in oil. The Remdesivir headline, honestly, I think even if the drug were to, say, flop this week, next week, for real, from the U.S. studies, I wouldn't necessarily think the market should completely collapse on it. As we talked about last week, there are several other drugs in the works, and this virus affects very few people, and the mortality rate is much lower than what is being reported out there. If anything, I think these stay-at-home orders could potentially be more deadly for the U.S. because the number one leading cause of death is heart disease. With all the gyms closed, nobody able to exercise as they normally would, I think that actually increases the chances of a larger, more deadly disease, if you will, in the U.S. We were only under the 50% retracement level of 2790 for a little over a trading day, and we popped right above it. It is still my belief that we will trade up to 2935, which is the Fibonacci 618 retracement level. Should we go up there based on economic data and stock, earnings? Not necessarily. But markets are going to overshoot on the downside. They're going to overshoot on the upside. And the fact that the charts, especially for the S&P, behaved so well this week leads me to believe that that is still going to be the next stop. Now, coming up this week, there will be some big, big earnings. The tech stocks, you can see here, a lot of them, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple, they're all reporting, and they are a major, major portion of the markets. If these guys say something extremely negative or guide extremely negatively, they will drop and the entire market will drop. And that could throw us below that 2790 again. However, if they say something that's decently hopeful, or if the market continues to just ignore earnings for this quarter overall, then I think we're still going to float towards that 2935 level. Also, we want to pay attention to the month-end rebalancing this time around. Last month, we had a lot of funds that needed to buy equities because equity prices had dropped so low and their holdings were too small of a percentage in the overall portfolio. This month, with markets bouncing back so strongly, I think it's possible that we could see some equity selling into the end of the month. But at the same time, it's tricky because most of these funds try to balance out or set certain percentage levels for their equity exposure and their bond exposure. And we know that the Fed and other central banks have been buying up bonds like crazy. So in theory, the bonds should have gone up as well. So with both bonds and equities going up, it's going to be tricky to see which one has gone up more and which one these funds and endowments need to sell. So concluding with the fun news for the week. Last week we talked about a push-ups record. I really questioned the form. This week we're looking at a pull-ups record, and I don't think there's any question the form here if you look at the video. And quite honestly, this guy has been an inspiration in the past, and he continues to be an inspiration. Anthony Robles was born without a right leg, and he won the NCAA wrestling championship, and now he's breaking the Guinness World Record for the most pull-ups in a minute with an 80-pound weight strapped to him. That alone is just pretty incredible. And if you look at the form in this video, he's going all the way up and all the way down. Okay, there's no question in this one. And like I said, this guy's been an inspiration. Hopefully he continues to inspire others through his hard work and dedication to just about every athletic thing that he does. And I think this is just a good, feel-good story to leave to conclude the week with. So with that being said, hope everyone enjoyed this short but hopefully insightful video. Again, let me know in the comments if you want me to look at something else, go deeper on certain subjects, and anything that I can do better. And hope everyone has a good week. And if you're being released from your stay at home, just be safe, be smart, and we're definitely rooting for you. And we hope to join you guys real soon. Have a good week, everyone.